let's get on to main topic number one. And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Forrest Bump, who writes, "Hello, movie crew. In the midst of the problems the movie theater industry is facing, I was wondering if you saw that the National Theater Group has put together a $1.2 million fund to help movie theater employees who have been laid off. How great is this? And do you think more industries should be doing something like this?" All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes, the North American Theater Owners Group, also known as NATO, not to be confused with the other NATO. That's kind of the best way to describe them is that's the union, if you will, of movie theater owners. Okay. It's the big national North American movie theater owners. The title is self-descriptive. Anyway. Right now, of course, the movie theaters, as well as many other industries, but on this show, we are talking about this little box that is the movie world. So that's where we're focusing our attention. The movie theater industry is getting the snot kicked out of it right now. Between having to be closed down, still having to carry expenses, not making any money, already being a razor thin profit margin business, they've really been getting the crap kicked out of them. And as an extension of that, the people who work at those movie theaters are financially getting the crap kicked out of them. Because these movie theaters aren't just the places, these big giant, circus environments we go to watch the movies. There's a lot of people who work there to make those experiences for us possible. And right now, everybody from managing those places to, doing stocking, to, taking our tickets, to helping us at customer service, to getting us our popcorn and soda, to seeing us to our seats, to cleaning the theaters for us. A lot of these people right now are getting hit really hard because they're sitting at home and they're not making a paycheck, and it's rough. Anyway, the North American Theater Owners Association came out and they just said something, and they're doing something, at least the branch in California and Nevada. I'm sure other branches will follow suit, but this comes to us from Variety. It says the National Association of Theater Owners of California and Nevada, that's the branch out here, has established a $1.25 million relief fund to assist employees of member theaters who have been laid off due to the situation. The funds will be divided proportionately among eligible member theaters based on the number of screens they operate and will be distributed to employees who have worked a minimum of 6 months prior to the closing of the theater. The individual companies will determine how those funds are to be allocated amongst the staff. So that comes into us here. And listen, this is not something that solves the problem. This isn't something that solves the problem by any stretch of the imagination. But it is at least something. It is at least something. When you're somebody who's in a situation like they are in right now, to have any sort of help and assistance right now is a great thing. And by the way, this is also something that I believe is in the movie theaters industry's best interest, because you want to keep your staff. As high of a turnover as movie theaters may have with staff, it is always more expensive to go out and get new employees than it is to keep the employees you have. Not just because it's a pain in the ass to try to go and hire people, but on top of that, you've now got people in the job who know how to do the job. You bring in new people, now you got to go through a process of getting them. It's just, generally speaking, it's always less expensive to keep people in a job if possible, as opposed to going out and getting new people. And I think doing something like this to try to help the theater employees stay afloat a little bit, show them that, hey, we're thinking about you in a time like this. I think that's also in the theater's best interest. I think that is also in the theater's best interest, because hopefully when all this stuff gets behind us, now not only do you still have your staff, but maybe you've got now a staff that there's a little bit more goodwill between management and staff. I'm not saying this is going to be everybody's going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. And I'm not saying this $1.25 million is going to solve all the problems, make everything perfectly fine. Not at all. But at very minimum, it seems like a nice gesture. And again, I think this is good for the employees, and I think that ultimately this is good for the theaters as well. So it seems to me like a really good win overall. Question is, guys, you hear about something like this. Do you think this is a good move on the theater's parts? Do you think this is them just doing goodwill? Do you think this is also in their self-interest? How do you feel about it? Jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right.